Notes from the book Traffic Secrets. It's very difficult to get somebody to buy immediately from your website and still be profitable. The solution is to use marketing funnels instead of asking people to buy immediately. The author gives the example of Google cost per click jumping from 25 cents to $3, making it very difficult to earn a profit. Funnels enable you to make more money from each visitor who clicks your ads. So you pay $3 per click, but you make $5 to $6 in return via funnels instead of immediate sales. Funnels are the secret to extracting more money from your traffic, 5 to 10x as much money. Ads on other platforms like Facebook follow a similar pattern. They start cheap to attract small business advertisers, then they increasingly cater to larger business customers and increase their advertising prices. Another reason to focus on funnels is that marketplaces like Amazon are highly competitive. There are hundreds of options for customers to choose from, and they often just buy whatever is the cheapest but still has high ratings. Personally, I've had a lot of success with marketplace marketing, but I appreciate how funnels help you sell at higher prices. Funnels allow you to present special offers that buyers can only get from you at certain times. For example, you could sell a $199 security system on Amazon or a $2,999 contract via funnels. Key marketing steps: identify your dream customers, find out where they hang out online, work your way in, buy your way in, create your own publishing platform, and build your own distribution list. One of the biggest problems in business is simply getting buyers to know that you even exist. Use hooks to grab their attention and pull them into your funnel. In your funnels, tell them a story and make them an offer. Understand your dream customers as well as they understand themselves, or even more so. Enter the conversation that's already taking place in their minds. Selling is far easier when you're working with rather than against customers' preconception. The 3 core desires, or what you might call markets, are wealth, health, and relationships. Your marketing message should focus on just one of these, so one desire per message. But you can also break this up into sub-markets. For example, wealth might include marketing, real estate, and sales. And marketing itself can be further broken down into e-commerce, Amazon, Facebook ads, etc. People are also either trying to move away from pain or toward pleasure. The value ladder is how you provide more value to your customers and for you to make more money. In other words, sell products at various price points. You should develop the skills of persuasion, storytelling, building a tribe, becoming a leader, and communicating with people who enter your marketing funnels. People are either searching for your product or you're interrupting them with something like a Facebook ad. With Facebook ads, you have a small window of time to grab attention, create desire, and make an offer. Use the formula hook, story, offer. Search traffic are people ready to buy, but they're comparing you to competitors, which poses a challenge. There are pros and cons to both types of traffic. One trick is to find out what websites your dream customers visit and simply buy ads there. In the age of social media and search engines, handpicking websites to buy ads might seem a bit archaic. But keep in mind that a lot of the traffic from digital ads are just robots, especially via fraudulent placements on Google Display Network. If you find the sites real humans visit, you might get a much higher ROI. Personally, I use tools like M1 Project and SparkToro to find out where my customers hang out. Here are some questions to answer. What are the top sites my dream customers visit? What forums or message boards do they use? What about Facebook groups? What influencers do they follow? What podcasts, what email newsletters, blogs, YouTube channels do they watch? Identify where they are, tap into those existing streams of traffic, and throw out some hooks to get attention. Another trick is to send out direct mail pieces with lumpy physical objects in them every 2 weeks. Follow up with a phone call. Even with a low response rate, this can be very profitable if the contracts are very large. Here's a quote from Chet Holmes. The goal of the Dream 100 is to take your ideal buyers from, I've never heard of this company, to, what is this company I keep hearing about, to, I think I've heard of that company, to, yes, I've heard of that company, to, yes, I do business with that company. What he's talking about here is your top 100 dream customer. That makes perfect sense if you're selling something expensive like business-to-business software. But it doesn't make much sense if you're selling something cheap. But here's the key. And it's the main thing where my marketing philosophy is most consistent with Russell Brunson. Your Dream 100 does not have to be customers. It can be influencers or partners, people or organizations that have the strongest influence on your end buyers. And by focusing on this small group of just 100, you can indirectly influence the entirety of your market. I think this is one of the most powerful marketing strategies out there, and what people are missing, because most marketers mistakenly define their target market as target customers. They miss out on one of the most important aspects of the target market, your target partners. And one of the most efficient marketing strategies is to focus on your partners. You see, there's a huge bias, in my opinion, in marketing today that everything needs to be direct to consumer. It can be much easier to focus instead on indirect marketing through partnerships. The author made a dream list of the owners of communities and asked them to promote his book. If he got just one yes, that can turn into hundreds of thousands of new customers. One podcaster responded, and he became a guest on his show. Find the Facebook groups, hashtags, and Instagram channels your customers use. Direct message anyone with over 200,000 followers. Find the tribes and infiltrate them. You could send community leaders free products and tell them that if they like it, tell people about it. If they hate it, tell people too. Trying to get people to cross over between platforms, however, can be difficult. Podcast listeners listen to podcasts. Instagram users love Instagram. Keep this in mind as you develop channel-specific marketing. One of the biggest keys to generating traffic is tapping into your Dream 100. That's where you should be investing most of your time and your effort. There are two types of congregations. One, interest-based, and two, search-based. So a reminder that people are going to find you in two ways. Either they search for you, or they're interacting with things that interest them while you interrupt them. Interest-based congregations are based on what people follow, like influencers, authors, thought leaders, companies, movies, books, and brands. Search-based congregations happen with searches on Google, Quora, YouTube, etc. Personally, I think Reddit is becoming particularly strong for both types of congregations. YouTube also fits both roles. As you find your Dream 100 in these congregations, consider what new opportunity you can give your followers. Have an irresistible offer that helps someone get out of pain and move towards pleasure. Communicate this with the hook story offer formula for your ads and other marketing. Hook story offer is the foundation of selling anything online. It's also how the author diagnoses anything that's not working in each funnel. Pay special attention to how you grab attention. In some cases, this is the email subject line, or the YouTube thumbnail, or the blog headline. Your hook could be words, images, videos. It could be something goofy you do to get attention. You gotta stop the scroll and get people to listen long enough to hear your story. Your story will increase the value of your offer. Serve your audience instead of just trying to extract money from them. If people aren't responding, the easiest fix is to increase or improve your offer. Add bonuses, increase how much they get, make it more attractive. Anything to make your offer irresistible. Here's an example I know of that demonstrates the importance of improving an offer. The Citi Strata Elite credit card. Compared to competitors like Chase and Amex, Citi seemed a bit boring and not luxurious. So they introduced a new luxurious credit card called the Elite. Notice the luxurious imagery, including a door that opens to what seems like a fancy hotel. The black imagery and naming suggest exclusivity. That makes the offer appealing in an emotional sense, but we also see that they try to boost the practical value by saying you gain 80,000 points and unlock $1,500 in value, while getting up to 12 points per dollar spent. They keep trying to boost up the value of the offer with credits like $300 for hotels and $200 for chauffeur service. Overall, they did a pretty good job here, especially in terms of emotional appeal. But I don't think it's enough, because a lot of people won't use the credits. And 80,000 sign-up points is on par with competitors, but it's nothing surprising. So what will likely happen is they'll offer more points to make the offer more enticing. That's the kind of thing you want to do with your marketing. Improve the offer if people are not responding. Let's circle back to working and buying your way into the communities where your customers are. Find the people who already have the customers that you want. Start building relationships with those influencers and businesses long before you want to promote your product to them. Subscribe to whatever your customers are subscribed to. Find the gaps in the market. See what the influencers and customers are doing on different platforms. When you reach out to the influencers, don't send a templated message and don't tell them your story just yet. Research them and praise them. Comment on their posts. Don't ask for anything in the beginning. Offer them free accounts. I did this when I marketed veterinary software. I contacted the top influencers for veterinarians and offered them lifetime VIP access. For example, the top podcasters in the industry. Give free copies of your book or course. Be a guest on podcasts. Send direct mail to the top influencers. Make them affiliates for your product with very enticing rewards. Do an interview with the influencers and offer to pay for their ads to promote or boost the interview you did with them. For example, use your credit card to run the ads and still give them a strong commission. That's what a really strong offer looks like. Almost too good to be true. Try to get interviewed or published on their channel so you can broaden your reach. Endorsements from third parties like influencers are far more valuable than you promoting your own stuff with your own ads. It's like PR. The conversion rates are much higher. Paid traffic produces faster results, but it fizzles out, especially when you stop paying for those ads. In contrast, earned traffic can keep growing, though it's slower to get started. You gotta make sure you reach out to a lot of people, let's say 100 or 300 influencers, knowing that only a handful are gonna respond, and then a smaller fraction of those will do any serious promotion for your product. Another trick is to advertise to the influencers instead of all the end buyers. I love this hack. It's kind of like how lobbyists know to focus on politicians instead of the wider audience. By concentrating their resources on a few influential people, they get disproportionate returns. Test different hooks to appeal to the top few hundred influencers. Give your customers multiple buying opportunities. For example, give them a free book and then offer a $37 add-on, and another offer at $97, and yet another one at $297. You might only break even on the first offer, but you can make tremendous profit on the back end. For example, sell a cheap ebook, but upsell to a course, and then sell an audiobook. Your order bumps, one-time offers, and so on are what increase your average order value. So let's say it takes $23 to acquire a customer, and your book sells for $7.95. Well, you actually lose money there. But a percentage of people will buy the order bump and the one-time offers, rendering your profitable funnel on average. The author believes that you should run profitable funnels so you can pour as much money as possible into the ads. In effect, your customer acquisition cost is zero. Contrast this with venture-backed companies that may not even break even until year 2 after acquiring a customer. Even if you only break even on acquisition, you can keep pouring money into ads and be profitable in the long run. Build an email list and ask them to buy your entry-level product for $37. Your list is one of your most important assets. As Noah Kagan says, one of the most common regrets of entrepreneurs is that they didn't start building their list sooner. Test different calls to action to get people to buy. You might generate a bunch of leads and ultimately make money with the follow-up emails. You might have a webinar funnel where you sell a special offer at the end that pays for your ads. Work with people who will email their followers for you or let you be a guest author on their blog. Here's a quote from David Frey. 81% of all sales happen on or after the 5th contact. Here's an example of the results of one funnel with rounded off numbers. 2,000 leads generated, 1,000 sales, $12 average cart value, 16,000 gross sales, 13,000 ad spend, $3,000 in profit. Owning the traffic is key because so much money is made on the follow-up rather than the front end. Stop relying on profiting from the front end, from the customer acquisition first purchase. Grow your list with something like a free report. Nurture emails that provide value and that get people to buy more. Retargeting ads can also help. Follow-ups can also happen via Messenger or SMS. You can use tools like ManyChat. To close a sale, you can use emotion, logic, and fear, i.e. urgency and scarcity. Tell stories to break false beliefs and to put people into an emotional state where they are ready to change and make a purchase. Emotional stories are key. Your landing page might start with an emotional headline, a video telling a story, some bullet points with a call to action, and then logical arguments, followed by urgency/scarcity. Also, mitigate risks with things like money-back guarantees. Use the fear of missing out. You might have 3 emails to try to close someone, one for emotion, another for logic, and a third for urgency and scarcity. You can use 2 email structures. 1, tell the story that continues with each email, or 2, one-off or independent emails. Your primary distribution channel is email. This is the modern form of direct mail. Just as blogs are like newspapers, Instagram is like reality TV, and podcasts are like radio. Now here I might disagree a little bit with the author in that we can treat social media messages today using tools like ManyChat as though they're email. But you could use a combination of both. Your primary show might be YouTube, a podcast, a blog, or something else. Your primary channel is likely email, but you might also use Messenger, swipe ups, etc. Start publishing even if you don't feel ready. The author recommends publishing daily. Consider talking about your process rather than just giving advice. Think about the big result that you want, the big journey you are on with your business. You can document that journey. For example, I think Alex Hormozi is documenting his path to becoming a billionaire. Document the process of achieving the dream outcome your audience wants. If you can get published by just one of your target influencers, you can leverage that to get the attention of the others. Make sure you convert traffic into traffic you own. For example, my giving away an ebook in exchange for an email. Get inspiration from the top influencers in your niche. That'll give you content ideas. See what the algorithms are rewarding. For example, quote cards were wildly popular at one point, often with Twitter. Keep in mind that social networking is like being at a party. You're not going to go around selling people stuff. Instead, make friends. Get people free stuff like chips. Don't have the selling conversation on social media. That's where the party is. Instead, plant seeds and have the sales conversation somewhere else more appropriate, like your website, your profile, or your email. This is one of the most enlightening piece of advice I found in the book. In other words, have the sales conversation someplace other than on social media. I've encountered so many issues with strict content moderation on Facebook ads, TikTok ads, even just on Facebook profiles. This is largely because of ads that are too salesy or content that is about money, which Facebook doesn't really like. The social media world often doesn't like that at all. So it can be better to segue to email or a landing page that does the selling. With prospecting ads, you have a big ocean of people that have different motivations. That's why you need different hooks. Targeting cold audiences can be expensive, but as you do retargeting and reaching your lists and followers, you get higher response rates. Audience 1 is engaged. Maybe they watched your YouTube video or commented on something. You could run ads to them for 5 days to get them to go to your site. Audience 2 is landed. They went to your page. You could run ads to this audience for 7 days to get them to come back. Audience 3 is owned. They took your lead magnet or they purchased. Now, I just want to make a quick comment here that a lot of this is going to be changed fundamentally with AI, where we don't necessarily have to use these crude audience segments, but at least it's a good place to start and a good place to start planning out content. But more and more, we're going to see AI defining audiences in a personalized way rather than in gross terms. All right, continue. Advertise and message to them to get them to buy or to buy more. For the engaged audience, sell the click. For landed, sell the opt-in or the purchase. For owned, sell the next step. The lowest hanging fruit for your ads are your subscribers, your followers, and your lists. For social media, pay attention to what images and headlines grab attention. Direct message influencers when they post interesting videos. Model after them. This can help build your brand, which is defined by Jenna Kutcher as the image and personality the business applies to its offers. Your social hooks can inspire, educate, or entertain. Test these and don't rely on just one, And I want to make another comment here that a lot of product marketers think that positioning is all about finding that one thing to build all your marketing around, but different hooks, different positionings resonate with different people. So don't think you just need to find one. Your post can tell a story, ask a question, or be a list. Consider boosting content you post with paid ads. Build a messenger list and not just an email list by establishing a fan page. You can set up automatic conversations. Join Facebook groups to see what questions people are asking. In these groups, post value rather than just pitching your product. Push people to your profile. That's where the sales conversations can start happening. For search marketing, build a list of dream keywords such as social media marketing and marketing automation, and more specific long tail terms like sales funnels for real estate and sales funnels for Shopify. Write long articles by looking at what is already ranking well for certain keywords. Improve on that and write something better. Find out who linked to the competing article and send them a message to see if they're interested in linking to your new article. Explain why. For example, that it's more up to date. Once I saw a list of my competitors listed without me included, I simply wrote the website owner and almost immediately I was at it. Don't just publish on your own blog, but also be a guest writer on influencers' blog. Also, instead of worrying about ranking at the top of search, consider just buying ads or getting promoted on the pages that already rank well on Google. I love this shortcut approach and have used it before. Time is money. Consider ignoring pages that don't already have ads because they may not adapt quickly or even be open to ads. For YouTube, see what the top people in your industry are doing and make sure your profile image is a picture of yourself. Find a focus phrase for your YouTube channel, such as how to shave. For example, how to make money, ... So how to make money by investing, how to make money as a beginner, how to make money at home, etc. Those are themes you can use in your videos. Your video can start with a 15-second hook using the keywords that people search. Then a branded trailer of 4 to 5 seconds. Introduce who you are. Then an intro explaining who you are and why they should listen. Then a story or your content. Lastly, an offer with a CTA like commenting on the video. Your title should sell the click. For example, Potato Gun, the 17 steps that build your gun in under an hour. Your thumbnail should include large faces or images, bright colors, and as few words as possible. A great click-through rate is over 9%. One trick with YouTube is to get people to binge watch your videos. Email your video to your subscribers and post on social media, and put a link in the comments. Also collaborate with YouTube influencers. Get the video posted on their channel with links pointing back to you. Get interviewed on YouTube channels and podcasts. Find one channel to focus on. It could be YouTube or Facebook, perhaps wherever you spend most of your time. On YouTube, people are seeking keyword-driven how-tos and entertainment. Consider undersaturated media like Messenger, which has very high open rates, and desktop push notifications. Consider the shadow funnel, which is the traffic created in the wake of everything else that you're doing and sending to your funnels. For example, lots of people might see your Facebook ads but not click much or respond, but then they Google you or check out your LinkedIn profile. This is a few aspects of the shadow funnel, or what some people call dark social. Essentially, this means a lot of what is happening in marketing isn't easily measured. Most people don't react or buy right away, so they do research and get influenced gradually. They might be looking for your reviews or researching competitors. One key is to centralize all your funnels and offers in your value letter into a single place like your website. Build your credibility there and magnify your authority. This funnel hub will capture more traffic, use other people's distribution channels, such as Warren Buffett uses other people's money. One of the key considerations on Shark Tank is whether the product can be plugged into existing distribution channels. Most of the sharks had mastered one distribution channel. You want to plug into someone else's distribution channel, such as Bed Bath & Beyond, or TV, or an influencer's following. A lot of this book focused on building your own distribution channel by converting traffic into own traffic on your list. But there are lots of people who already built lists, and you can buy ads in their emails. Try Googling email advertising plus your niche, or online media kit plus your niche. Try to pay based on the number of clicks they typically get instead of the size of the list. Most of your clicks will come within 12 hours and the rest within 2 days. The author prefers when the entire email is the ad itself. Consider other channels such as Messenger, desktop push, and direct mail. Consider products people need immediately before they need yours. Partner with companies that are selling those earlier product purchases. You can integrate into those partners' distribution channels. It's an easy sell when someone just bought something and your product is the next natural step. Consider building a network of affiliates to promote you. This gives tremendous leverage. Recruit them, make them affiliates, give them a reason to promote you, train them and compensate them. Affiliates often have different considerations, such as simply how much money they can make, or other people it might be whether the product is a good fit for their audience. Send copies of your product to them in the mail. Create a Facebook group for your affiliates. Consider setting up a special webinar for each affiliate. Maybe develop an affiliate center to give your affiliates assets and training. Consider paying them $20 for each free book they give away. That might sound silly, but if your funnel with upsells is profitable and you're making $20 in ads, then you may as well pay the affiliates to promote your free product. Their compensation does not have to be a percentage. It could be a flat rate. Consider paying out 50% of your profit. Keep in mind that there are different types of audiences, cold, warm, and hot. Starting a headline with your product may not make sense if the audience never heard of you. Often cold traffic is only aware of their core desire, i.e. health, wealth, or relationships. So meet your audience where they're at. Marketing is about building the bridge between what someone wants and what you provide. Focus on your dream list of 100 influential people or organizations. Convert that traffic into your own. An email from them endorsing you helps warm them up. A pre-sale content video on Facebook or YouTube could also warm them up before you direct them to your funnels. Consider this cold traffic funnel. Someone clicks an ad and is brought to a page that looks similar to the site where they saw the ad. In other words, the landing page looks like an article instead of a salesy product page. It tells a story and uses language the audience uses, and talks about things they care about. That helps bridge the gap between what they believe and what you offer. At the end is a link to join a newsletter. Then a series of follow-up emails help bridge the gap between beliefs they have and what was being offered by you through stories. This is a very gradual funnel designed to slowly warm people up and transition them to buy something. But it's so slow. I personally recommend starting with warmer traffic, but eventually you'll want to expand to the much wider group of cold people. In order to scale past 9 figures per year, you'll need to master cold traffic. Start first with warm traffic in your Dream 100 list of influencers or buyers. Decide on who really it is that you want to serve. Understand them well. Pick a platform to publish on first. Build your Dream 100 list of people who already congregated your dream customers together. Expand to more platforms as you grow. Consider growth hacks. For example, if someone signs up for a webinar, offer them a free book if they refer 5 friends to the webinar. Another example is ClickFunnels pages that have a link at the bottom that says, "This page was made with ClickFunnels." What's special here is each link is actually an affiliate link for the owner of the page. Each customer is automatically made into an affiliate that creates a flywheel growth effect.